Secretary Chu, thank you for being here. My constituents commute on average 25 minutes a day to work. 84% of them drive themselves. Public transportation is not readily available in western North Carolina. Tell me what you've done to reduce the price of gas at the pumps. What policies have you put in place to reduce the price of gas at the pumps?
Well, I can tell you what the administration has done, and then I'll narrow it down to what the Department of Energy can do and has done. Certainly, a lot of Federal lands have been put up for auction for production of oil. Although due to a complex set of reasons, it is certainly true that since the President took office, the amount of oil production in the United States has gone up.
My question, Secretary Chu, as you know, the production of oil on public lands has actually gone down under your administration's watch. What policies and production has gone up on non-public lands? I mean, for instance, in the Dakotas, I mean, the Bakken Shale is fantastic, wonderful technology advancements. But what policies has this administration put into effect to help reduce the price of the pumps? Well,
there was one policy. It was, I would say, a reaction to an oil interruption due to the Libyan incident. But in the tools that the Department of Energy has at its disposal, what we have done is we have worked with manufacturers to improve the the efficiency of internal combustion engines to reduce those costs. We are very aggressive in trying to look for alternatives other than petroleum, if adopted worldwide, could have a moderating effect on the price of gasoline, bring those prices down. For example, we were very enthusiastic about the development of natural gas, shale gas, especially over the last 5 and 10 years. And the Department of Energy has been very active looking at ways to use natural gas for long-haul trucking, for centralized delivery trucking. We've just put out an announcement saying we want to see if we can reduce the cost of storage of natural gas in automobiles and short-haul trucks that could be readily available. If we can do this, we can move to what are called biofuel cars, so that the same internal combustion engine can burn natural gas or gasoline or diesel. But one of the barriers is the very high cost of that carbon fiber tank or the very high pressure. So we have pushed forward a program to develop better storage. So everywhere, those are examples. Battery, electrification, alternatives. Right now the electric cars are fairly expensive, $32,000 for a Nissan Leaf before subsidies. The Chevy Volt's about $40,000. Very aggressive about adding battery development so that we can dramatically bring down the cost of electrification to $20,000, $22,000.
Well, Secretary Chu, you've mentioned a number of things. At what point will those have an effect of my constituents' cost of purchasing gas at the pumps? Well,
as you know, and as we all know, that you look at all the tools available in our chest, and we look at all those tools. But as the President has repeatedly said, there's no single bullet. Yes, we want to increase production. Yes, we want to do all those other things. And mostly we want to diversify, to give our consumers a choice, to decrease the
So at what point will those have an impact on the market?
Natural gas long-haul trucking, very quickly. A consortium of companies.
I mean, before the next election, perhaps?
Yes. Their plan is to have invested $300 million in liquid nitrogen fueling stations by December 2012.
My time is short. You've listed a long list of things that this administration has done. I have not yet heard that they're trying to increase the supply of American oil or our refining capacity, or limit the regulations in the diversity of blends that are required. I have heard nothing from you today that indicates a policy this administration has put in place that will meaningfully impact the price at the pumps, other than driving it up. The policies this administration has put in place have actually increased the cost of fuel at the pumps. They've increased the cost of commuting for my constituents. And to tell my constituents with 10% unemployment in Western North Carolina that you need to go buy a Nissan Leaf, that you need to, in order to commute for 50 minutes a day, you're going to have an employer who's wonderful enough to provide you a place to plug in your car so you can get home, is absolutely ridiculous. And the anger that my constituents have of the cost at the pumps is very real. And if the President doesn't get this, if the Secretary of Energy doesn't get this, we've got a real problem here. We doubled the budget of the Department of Energy in 2009, and yet we're paying twice as much at the pumps. This is absolutely ridiculous. We've seen cylinders.
The gentleman's time has expired. Yes.